Welcome back to Ales and Fails Miniatures. Today we are reviewing the D&D Icons of the Realms Gargantuan Bahamut. Pretty excited. It's a beast, to say the least.
It's a whole lot of dragon.
Yeah, so I'm ready to see it. Let's get into it. Alright, let's get this thing open, shall we?
Alright.
Okay, well, let's see. Let's get
Ooh.
a big piece of foam.
He's coming right at you,
Okay.
out of the box.
Alright, let's get him off to the side here. We'll pull out this.
Do you want me to hold it?
Yeah. Okay. Let's get this box out of the way for you guys. Okay, so if you do not know who Bahamut is, he is the Platinum Dragon, known to be the only one of his kind, from what is at least told. Also, he is the dragon god, or at least the metallic dragon god. He is basically just the most badass dragon that exists.
Yeah.
Depending, I mean, Tiamat's up there, but...
Pretty much out of the metallics, he is the top dog, the big honcho, as some would say. And I mean, he definitely shows it. Like, that's awesome. And his wings are huge.
Yeah. I will say, compared to some of the other gargantuan dragons, or ancient dragons, he is a little bit smaller. Body feels much larger, but the wings feel a little bit small compared to the previous ones. I'll show a comparison here, but...
I also really enjoyed that there's a lot of even scratches and marks against his wings. It shows that he's been in a lot of fights, and obviously he's still standing, so he's won quite a few of those. So
Yeah,
he is
definitely.
A beefy boy.
Yeah,
He's
that
pretty
is a
awesome.
monster. Yeah, and like I said, he is the god of the metallic dragons and justice. He was also a subservient deity to the god Torm, which is the god of law. So
It's actually kind of cool.
Yeah.
I also heard that when he likes to travel the mortal world, he would usually take the form of a human being, one that we all happen to know and love, who has nice robes, known as Fizban. He also is usually accompanied by 7 canaries, which are actually his 7 gold dragon
bodyguards, basically.
pretty much.
Yeah.
Polymorph, so that they can always stay by his side in bit incognito mode. I thought that was really cool. He also had many forms, but Fizban is definitely his most common and popular, and I mean, can you blame him? So.
Yeah. And I will say, it is nice that, unlike some of the other dragons, they actually gave you a Fizban and the 7 canaries to go along with it. So that is pretty cool by itself, because...
It's a nice spell, too, that he's casting.
Yeah, he's got 7 gold canaries, so that's kind of a cool little miniature that
Here we go.
they added in along with it. I do like that a lot, the fact that they actually included things on top of just
him. Yep.
So, yeah, that's really cool. Let's see.
Oh, they do look really good, too. I mean, I like that they have a little bit of a wash, because it kind of gives... There's actually depth in these feathers, so...
Yeah.
Gives them a little something, so
Yeah.
that is awesome.
Yeah, the other thing about him is instead of fighting, which is maybe why they made the miniature a little bit smaller, instead of fighting, he usually likes to use his legendary diplomacy, basically. Rather, he likes to talk things out compared to trying to actually fight, which makes sense for the god of, justice. So definitely tracks.
I was gonna say, if you think about it, most metallic dragons are kind of more on the rather talk it out, rather just have a conversation than go straight into fisticuffs.
Yeah.
But what you holding there?
And so this is the breath weapon that comes along. So he actually has technically 3 different types of breath weapon, 2 that are actual attacks.
Ooh.
And then the third breath weapon is actually, he calls forth the winds from Mount Celestio, which would heal his allies along with resurrecting his fallen comrades.
That's really cool.
So you can use this obviously for any of those. I believe it just kind of sticks in his mouth. Honestly, I'm not 100% sure how this goes in. I think his tongue might come out. So his tongue actually comes out.
Would not have been my first guess. I'm
mine
glad I got
either.
to see that though.
Yeah. So I will say it does not fit quite perfectly. It is a little bit longer, and I'm scared it's hitting his teeth very hard at this point, but I'm not sure if it just needs to go in further. So, a little weird there. Again, the breath weapons, they did it with the gold one as well, which the same kind of thing happened. It seemed to not fit all the way in. So, usually when I use a miniature like this, I don't actually have the breath weapon in its mouth because it's a little bit harder to move around.
It's more cool just to have it to give you an idea.
Yeah.
Which, again, you could set it up just like
that. If you have it on a shelf or something.
Concept.
So that's pretty cool.
Another really cool thing that I never would have thought of is he actually knows every divine and arcane spell.
Yeah. It's at least thought that he does.
And it makes sense why he'd choose a wizard form then.
Yeah.
You know? And, instead of a normal lair, Bahamut actually made his lair into a giant palace on the plain of Celestia, made with gold and silver and jeweled windows along with ivory walls. I mean, it's just... I mean, hey, if you've got a horde, you might as well do something with it. Yeah,
he uses horde to make his palace rather than having a normal horde usually. Hordes, things like knowledge, things of those sorts. And, yeah, the miniature itself is just sweet.
Oh, yeah. The scales all look really, really cool. I would definitely say, again, I appreciate the detail with the scratches on his wings.
The horns, the fact that they actually kind of fade to a black is really cool. Again, he's not like any other dragons.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, this is a dragon miniature that is not like any others, and it makes it epic. I absolutely love this miniature. I will say, paint job wise, it is very basic. I will say, opening it smelled like pure spray paint. So I'm not sure if they, did it in some sort of canned spray, or I'm not 100% sure there. The sculpt itself is absolutely beautiful.
Really awesome.
Could, again, use some sort of wash. Unfortunately, with most times these days, I say that same thing about miniatures. They just could use a little bit more depth. And I'm not sure if that's due to the way they're sculpting it or if the way they're producing them. They could just use a little bit of a wash, but that's easy enough applied afterwards. For the price, obviously, you would wish that it comes with that little bit of extra detail. But again, he is also the Platinum Dragon, so you don't want him to look dirty.
Yeah.
So it does. Agree. You have a double-sided
there.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah, and very, very beautiful miniature.
Oh, yeah. And again, I really like his horns also have kind of like those little edge details. I mean, there's a lot going on here in the sculpt itself. And even his position is really cool. It can be interpreted as an attack position, but I can also see that as a wait, I'm kind of trying to talk to you almost position. Yeah. Stop what you're doing.
Yeah, or reaching down just to pick somebody up or something of those sorts to where it's not as... It definitely doesn't seem as aggressive as most of the other dragon sculpts that we've seen, so...
And I appreciate that it's open to interpretation.
Yes.
So.
Yeah, I really like the way he's standing. His massive claws are just awesome. Those could have used some sort of gloss. I think it would have looked really nice, kind of like his horns are shiny. His claws could have used a little bit more gloss on them. But overall, this miniature is absolutely insane. Yeah, one more really cool thing about Bahamut is the fact that he also has a roar that can disintegrate creatures and objects within 100 feet of it.
Wow.
Little aggressive. All right. Calm it down there.
So if he wants to be, he can, but he chooses.
This is... I would highly recommend it if you're very into the dragons and you are building a dragon collection like I am. I would highly recommend it. This dragon is absolutely beautiful.
Oh, yeah.
I am very excited to finally add him to my collection. And the other thing that I really like about it is the very shiny blue eyes with no pupils. Because they are, I'm pretty sure from what I read, they basically just shine blue, like bright blue.
Oh, that is really cool.
Yeah, they did a great job on the teeth, the mouth, the tongue. The fact that the tongue's removable is really cool to add in the breath weapon. So I did not expect that, because the Gold Dragon, they actually had the entire head removable, to where the breath weapon, the head is attached to it. So kind of cool there that the fact that they did it a little bit different with the tongue actually being able to be removed.
I think that works very well with the sculpt, because again, you can't really see any lines or anything inside the mouth. I never would have guessed the tongue would have come out.
I think it works a lot better with something small removable compared to the entire head having to be removed. Again, I think the biggest issue that I have is, since these are sculpted separately, it doesn't quite fit. I mean, you can even see if you put it up against it, how far back it would have to go. So I think that's the biggest thing. I wish they would just make these a little shorter, to where almost they didn't touch the ground. I'd rather not touch the ground than not fit at all.
Yeah.
I think is my biggest downfall there, because you can angle it to touch the ground. You can't have the dragon sitting above off of his base.
It can't have all that weight on it, so I'm with you.
Yeah, they definitely did try to do a little bit of a wash. I can see it back here on the spines across the back. So again, I love this miniature. The Fizban miniature by itself is very cool. They have some just basic green robes, gray robes underneath with a white shawl across the top. And then the staff, I love, again, Brian and I were talking about it, the fact that they're adding all these different spell effects in clear resin, and really just adds a lot more to a miniature. And again, all three of these together, this is a beautiful set. Would highly recommend you picking one up. If you did enjoy this, please do like and subscribe, and we'll catch you in the next one.
Cheers.